Hey everybody, and welcome to a vintage video. Eternal Weekend is just a couple weeks away, so it's time to figure out what's good in vintage right now. I haven't played the format since the most recent Banned and Restricted update. That's been a while at this point, but I've been working on other formats, but it's time to focus on vintage. So here is a deck that Luis Scott Vargas was working on. He posted a video of it. He said this is what he'd play if he was coming to Eternal Weekend. At least that was true a week ago. And this is PO. This is a deck I want to play. Jeskai Xerox is the best deck right now. Talking to all my vintage people, the Dreadhorde Arcanist, Lavinia, Jeskai deck just does the same thing every game, picks apart your enemy. That's what people are doing right now. And that's a terrible matchup for PO. I'm not going to lie. PO versus Xerox is historically heavily favored in the Xerox direction, and the printing of Narset Parter of Veils makes that a lot worse. That card didn't exist last year at Champs. But PO gets their own Narsets, and look at this sideboard. There's just 6 cards in it that kill Narset, plus all the counter spells in the main deck. Plus, speaking of cards that didn't exist, now we can tinker for Bolas's Citadel. This kills your opponent without drawing any cards. So there is a sidestep around main deck Narset, and then on the sideboard we have a ton of answers. So, and the way the format's been moving, because Jeskai Xerox is so good, people have been playing like decks like Survival or the new Fast Bond decks that just combo lands out of their graveyard and squeeze your opponent out of resources. And those decks are great matchups for PO. So we got kind of a rock, paper, scissors going on here, where Jeskai crushes this kind of deck crushes the decks that beat Xerox. So that's where we are. And when I play vintage, I don't get to do it very often, but when I do it, I want to do something messed up that I can't do in other formats. Like Cyrus Cormangill said on Twitter the other day that he would be embarrassed to Black Lotus into Dreadhorde Arcanist when there are so many other options available. And I'm kind of with him on that. If you want to win the tournament, it's okay to be boring. But if you want to feel something, PO is the right kind of place to be. That's what I did last year. I picked up PO basically cold. I played about 9 matches with it, and then I won Champs. And I had the time of my life doing it. So I'm going to start with PO, see how that goes, and let's run this league. All right, so we're on the play for round 1. This hand... I have turn 1 Soul Ring, turn 2 Mentor plus Trigger with Force backup. I'm definitely keeping this. There's a lot of power in this hand. Not literal power 9 magic cards, but it is a powerful hand is what I'm saying. There's only 1 misstep allowed in decks now, so I'm going to hope for the best there. I really like there only being 1 misstep allowed in the format now. That card was so obnoxious. Holy cannolis. Alright, a Mox would be the best draw. Ugh. Alright, now we have the choice of I could jam Mentor and play out my Mox in and leave up Force, or I could just start POing, but then I don't have Force. Oh, I do still have Force. I can pitch Lavinia. Lavinia is a blue card. Magic the Gathering, folks. Alright. I'm just going for a PO here. Boop, boop, boop. Build your own ancestral free call. Pays for itself. Just gotta hope they only have 1 counterspell and that it's not Flusterstorm. All right, let's hope this works. Yeah, all right, we're doing stuff. So now I can just PO again. That sounds pretty good. I would really like to find a Narset to fire off this Wheel of Fortune with, and we still have time to do that. I'm not going to make my land drop yet because I could still draw Tolarian Academy this turn. And you shouldn't make your land drop if you could still cast Academy or play Academy. All right, so there's the Narset. blue, blue. All right, so let's play Soul Ring. Blue, blue. I think I'm 1 mana short of casting the Narset, but I am not any mana short of casting this Tinker, which should just end the game. Yep, straight up concession. That turn 2 PO life. And we saw a Flooded Strand, a Volcanic Island, and a main deck Pyroblast. We might be up against Jeskai here. In which case, overpowering them is a perfectly reasonable plan. Okay, so I'm going to play like we're against Jeskai. So Hurkyl's Recall, not super important. Yeah, they're not going to try to disrupt me with artifacts, so Hurkyl's Recall can come out. Pyroblasts and Bolts are good. Those kill Lavinia, Dreadhorde Arcanist, and most Narsets. Don't think I want this kind of stuff. So against the deck that has 4 Pyroblast in it, Tinker is a big liability. If we can't Tinker, then we probably don't want Citadel because we have very few ways to cast it. Merchant Scroll becomes kind of a liability. We don't really need Chain of Vapor because we have all these better answers to Lavinia. Vampiric Tutor could be important to find something without drawing a card. These card negative tutors are good in the matchups where drawing cards is not an option. And Sensei's Top also is not great against Narset and things that... Lavinia's kind of interesting because though she dies to everything, she does shut down Dreadhorde Arcanist and Force of Will. I'm off it. I'm going to put this top back in. Alright, let's try that. I probably should have made room for these lands. I'll work on that if there's a game 3. I'll figure that out. Alright, so we have Pyroblast, D-Tutor, but not both, because I don't have a Badlands in the deck. But I am going to keep this. It sees a lot of cards. Alright, Pearl. I'm going to play this top first. I probably should have played Scalding Tarn so I could hold up Red Blast. I was trying to maximize my looks with top by saving my fetch lands, but that doesn't make sense if they just stick Narset this turn, so definitely should have held up Pyroblast there. Alright, we have another Pyroblast coming and a Snapcaster Mage. Those are both good cards. Alright, so we draw the Pyroblast. I'm just going to hold for another turn here, because I want to draw this Snapcaster, and I can't cast D-Tutor with Pyroblast backup right now, which is what I really want to do. Alright, so they're at the clutch 3 mana, or all their scary spells start to happen. Alright, so I don't need Bolt. I got Pyroblast for days here. Alright, so if I D-Tutor, I could just get Ancestral. That plays straight into a Red Blast, though. Let's see if there's a line that I can get ahead on board without casting a blue spell. I think just D-Tutor for Mentor is the path. Alright, so I'm going to grab Mentor. And then go big next turn. with a bunch of Pyroblast to defend it. I tend to play Vintage a lot more conservatively than a lot of people, which a lot like Randy Bueller especially, like he's commentated a bunch of my matches and he's been in the VSL and stuff. I've watched him play, and he's a big fan of just always jamming. And I'm just a lot more patient than that. I'm not sure who's right or wrong. It's just a thing that is true. We approach the format differently. All right, so I have a Force of Will here, so I can cast Mentor with Force and Pyroblast backup, which sounds pretty cool. Yeah, I'm about it. Mentor is usually the way you overpower these other decks that are trying to be cute, trying to get clever with their little counter spells. Yeah, my whole game plan here is to not need any blue spells to win, because I'm sure they just have 4 Pyroblast at this point. All right, here comes a Force of Will. Let's fight back. Oh no. Alright, yeah, they baited out a blue spell. Yep, there's the guaranteed red blast. Alright, and then they're going to untap with 3 extra mana. But we have Wheel of Fortune waiting in the wings. So, like, jamming like Jace this turn would be the grossest thing they could do to me. Looks like that's what's happening. But I do have Pyroblast for that. Yep. Naturally, the worst possible thing occurs. That's Vintage. Alright, so important to note, I boarded out Citadel, and there's no Tendrils in this deck. So I'm going to have to beat down with Lavinia to win this game. Like, the one of Lavinia. Is that really my only win condition? Oh, I have 2 Snapcasters. I have 1 Snapcaster, I just pitched one. So it's 2-2 beats are my plan to win this game, which is not exciting. Let's take a look with this top, see what we got. All right, Narset. I like you. All right, so next turn I can cast Narset with Pyroblast backup. Obviously, they're going to brainstorm with Jace. Maybe I should just zap Jace, but I don't care about Jace if I have Narset. I would totally believe blasting Jace was the right play there. But it's like interesting in Vintage because a lot of the times executing your plan is better than stopping their plan. Like in Legacy, I would have snapped off that Pyroblast, kill Jace, got to get that thing dead. Alright, so we're super dead to Pyroblast here, but we can fight through a blue counterspell. They've only drawn 5 between the Standstill and the Jace. Alright, that's gone. Time to kill this Jace. Hopefully this works. Okay. So our top card's a land. I think if they could have countered Pyroblast, they would have. Alright, Stony Silence is a bummer. Yeah, so this is not Arcanist. This is land still, obviously, at this point. So this is a very different deck than we sideboarded for. And them having the backup Jace plus Stony here probably means we're just dead. All right, we drew 4 artifacts. We're dead. All right. That didn't go to plan. All right, time to switch things up. All right, so I need my win conditions back. They are a wasteland deck too, so having... So I want Lavinia gone. This is not the matchup she's for. I can play fewer bolts because I don't have to worry about Dreadhorde Arcanist. And usually you just need 1 bolt to clear the way of a Lavinia or something else. And with the snaps, that's a bunch of bolts. And I want an answer to Stony Silence in my deck. There's Teferi and Chain of Vapor. Gotta cut one more thing. I'm gonna cut 1 Opal against the Stony Silence deck. Alright, let's jam. Alright, so we're on the play, of course. This hand has Ponder and Vamp Tutor to find some action. I'm going to keep this. I can even Vamp and then Ponder to draw the card, but being able to Ponder, I can keep a card I want, shuffle away another with Vamp. Just having Jet in this hand kind of sets it off. If I find a Mox here, then Opal is active. Alright, Force of Will is probably something I'm interested in. So if I put Force in my hand, then I Vamp for Tinker, I can Force to protect my spells. Alright. We pretty much just have to worry about turn 1 Stony Silence here, but we have 1 Force of Will regardless. Oh, Strip Mine's kind of a beating. Alright, so how does that change my plan? I'm definitely vamping right now. Maybe I just get Ancestral now that they can't Red Blast it. I could get Soul Ring and cast PO. But then I don't have Force backup. Not casting Mentor this turn. Alright, I definitely want to get something I'm casting right now. Losing the land means we're not tinkering. 3 drops are off the table. So I think Ancestral is just the pick. And we gotta hope they don't have their 1-of misstep. Alright, boom. So I'm gonna get Island, make sure I have lands to function with. Alright, that resolved. That's sweet. Let's see what they're working with. They do have a Stony. Wow, I'm impressed. Well, what are these plows even for? Wow. Okay, so I'm surprised they stripped me instead of trying to get turn 2 Stony online or turn 2 Mana Drain. Interesting. So unless something changes, they're just taking turn 2 off. Which means we get to jam Narset and win the game next turn. And Strip Mine's already in the graveyard. They can't destroy my island. Alright. Let's ship the turn and hope they don't draw a Mox. But even if they do, I can just force the Stony and then jam Narset and I know the coast is clear. Alright, so 1 Volk's already in my graveyard, so I'm going to play the Tundra. I want to protect my red mana from Wasteland. Mox Pearl. So they're going to cast Stony next turn, probably. If I force and then get to PO, things go crazy. Yeah, I am just going to take the Pearl, because then I can even... I could snap Probe right now and get another card deeper, figure out what they drew for the turn. But then if I miss on a blue card... And they have all these plows. Yeah, Snap doesn't even really do anything right now. So I'm just going to pass here. All right, so it's interesting they played Tundra because that's not a card I saw in their hand. So they only have one unknown. I'm forcing Stony and hoping their unknown is not Force of Will. All right, cool. We're over the first hurdle. We're going to get to PO for some number this turn. Hopefully our Draw Step and Narset both find Moxen. All right, Draw Step paid off. Soul Ring, Honorary Mox. And Mox Sapphire, actual Mox. Time to go ham bananas. This Mindbreak Trap is also an annoying thing they could have drawn. I should think about what mana I'm floating here. Oh, they're just scooping. That works too. Yeah, we just overpowered the control deck. PO, even it's bad matchups, the ceilings, the floor is pretty high because you can just ram into them. That was awesome. All right, on the play again. I'll take that all night. Please and thank you. So Island casts Mana Vault and then Sapphire Opal. This is a turn 1 Narset in the dark. I'm going to keep that. Oh, it looks like they're dredging over there. 1, 2, 3 bridges exiled off their powders. That's kind of insane. All right, their misstep is gone. One of their forces is gone. All right, so it doesn't actually change anything here. I'm still taking the line I was going to take. The only thing this changes, I guess, is if I want to play around Mindbreak Trap or not. I could pass and then bring it back, but I think that's just wrong. Against Dredge, I'm going to jam. If this gets Mindbreak Trapped, I'll be bummed. All right, it didn't. Oh, we drew PO, or found PO. I'll take it. All right, so if they can unmask me, my hand gets a lot worse here. There's one unmask in exile already. All right, hollow one. Another hollow one. All right, they can't unmask me now. All right. So unless that last card in their hand is Mindbreak Trap, then we should be okay to go nuts here. Found another Mox even. I'm going to pick up Narset to draw an extra card too, because Dredge doesn't draw cards. Dredging to replace cards is unaffected by Narset. Alright, so I can hard cast Bolus's Citadel here. That sounds like it's something I'm interested in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bolas' Citadel. Alright, so can I get past this? Bummer. Land on top is not what I wanted. I could play Opal. That doesn't do anything. I have one Dredger. Oh, that kind of pooped right on my ice cream, hitting that land right away. So it looks like we're going to have to pass, but we can Chain of Vapor a hollow one. If they want to sack their Bazaar to bounce Bolas' Citadel, that's a deal. Alright, so they're going to get to dredge roughly infinity. Not really. They have to hit something good off Shambling Shell. Like, that's not a huge dredge. Oh, they hit their last bridge and their Cabal Therapy. Alright. Alright, so they're getting in. They did not hit another Dredger, though, so I'll take that. They know Narsit's in my hand. Oh, no. Their last card was another Bazaar. So I can bounce Hollow One and they have to discard it. Oh, no, that would have given them one extra card. Never mind. Now they can bounce Hollow One and they have to discard it. Oh, Narset would be really good in play right now. Just saying. Alright, so this puts Hollow One straight in the graveyard. Let's see if they want to sack a Bazaar to bounce my Citadel. Oh, they do. Okay. That's fine. I'm not going to engage in further land destruction warfare here. Oh, they have the Cabal Therapy. That was just a terrible play. Yep. Can you tell I'm rusty? Alright, so now they can strip my Citadel and I'm in all kinds of trouble. Did they hit another Therapy? They did not. So they can strip the Citadel. They get one zombie. I can still Narset plus Wheel. Good thing there's only one bridge left in their deck. That's some small relief. Oh, they chose PO. Interesting. So they're not afraid of the Citadel. I guess I am at 9 life. That's not very much. Alright, so make the same play I made last turn. Now I have a fetch land to shuffle through this, though. I also just have PO on top of my deck. This does put me to 5, though. Got to watch out for that. So redeploy all my things. Let's see if I drew Mentor. I can't see my whole hand right now, which is kind of annoying. So I want to find Mentor as quickly as possible because that's going to be my win condition, Mentor Time Walk. So Snapcaster PO is a line that would put me to 3. And draw a hajillion cards. There's already an Opal in play. Oh, there's Mentor. Alright, we're going to win this. Just got to make sure I don't die to my own crypts and vaults, but otherwise we should be fine. And so with all this floating mana, here comes Mentor. All right, and they scooped it up. Nice. All right, we did our best to punt that one, but won anyway. I'm surprised they didn't strip the Citadel. No respect at all. All right, so against Dredge, Tormod's Crypt, Pithing Needle, Ravenous Trap coming in. All of these things function to just buy us a little time to go over the top, which is the plan. So we need to cut 6 cards. Hurkyl's Recall. Disrupting with artifacts is not their plan. Lavinia kind of bricks all of their spells, so I'm going to keep Lavinia in. Not super worried about things with Teferi. Like, they're going to be Hellbrent pretty quick, and they're not going to have permanents I care about much. I might not have time to activate Sensei's Top. Chain of Vapor. Fool me once, shame on me. And so my last my only misstep, it's not my last one, I only get one, but my only misstep, that can counter their answers to my hate. But my hate is just Pithing Needle and Tormod's Crypt. So it's not like I'm trying to hang like a ley line in play and just ride it. So I'm going to cut the misstep. And they only have one misstep of their own I need to worry about. Wheel of Fortune's pretty bad against Dredge. Like, even with Narset, they can just discard their hand and replace all their draws with Dredges, and dredge their whole deck and kill me. So the rest of this looks fine. Yep. My opponent used Serum Vision once. They lost an Unmask, a Force, a Bridge, and a Therapy. So if they unmask me here... Alright, there's a Hollow Boy. Oh, there's 2. Now I'm in a little bit of trouble. So I'm not going to use my Ravenous Trap here. That's not really what that's for. Tormod's Crypt in play. I'm going to Brainstorm next turn. I can take 1 hit here. I'm not going to play my Mana Crypt because that's just damage on me. Alright, so they hit a Therapy. I'm pretty okay with them sacking one of their 4/4s too. Maybe discard a spell, though. I don't think they're going to do that. All right, so they took natural draws with this Bazaar. Which makes sense because they're way ahead. They're just looking for ways to make sure I don't turn it around. All right, so I'm going to Brainstorm here. Because if they take my Brainstorm, I'm probably just dead. All right, Dig Through Time's a good one. Pithing Needle's a little late to the party. So I'm going to cast the Rav Trap before any of this resolves. So am I going to even have time to dig? So they attack me. They pass the turn. Probably not. So I have all this fast mana and dig. I'm going to hide the dig. Like, put that on top to draw. And I'm going to Rav Trap them. And then hope they're more worried about Pithing Needle than... Maybe I should have left the Rav Trap in there, because I'm kind of stoked if they take that. They probably should take Mana Crypt. Alright, my opponent is smart. Well played, opponent. Alright, so if I play Needle, name Bazaar... Run my Opal out there. So they're unlikely to kill me this turn, but I do need to figure it out next turn. I definitely don't want these cards that are on top of my deck. So Mox Opal's active. I don't have to worry too much about my colors, but black definitely has more payoffs than red. I boarded out all of my red cards. Alright, D-Tutor, what do you do? Hurkyl's Recall's not in my deck. I also can't cast it, so that's irrelevant. I guess let's cast Demonic Tutor and see where we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Can't do that anyway. Alright, so I could get Black Lotus and cast Dig Through Time. That's probably my best plan. The other option is Ancestral, cast it, and hope it's good. But I'm looking for Black Lotus if I do that, so I could just get the Lotus. Yeah, there's no Yogg-Will in this list or anything, so I can't, like, Lotus into Dig, into Will, and then go nuts from there. Alright, I'll just get the Lotus. Blue, blue, blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I get to dig with 1 blue floating, plus Opal still active. Mox Jet and Ponder see me more cards. Am I even drawing to anything though? Jet and Ponder. Yeah, these hollow ones, real good. Who printed that card? Fire them. Alright, so we're just a little short here. We're 2 mana short. Oh. We can go to 1, see another card. Yeah, if they didn't take that Mana Crypt, we would have PO here, but they did, so we don't. And we're just dead. Alright, that was rough. The double hollow one start was too good. Alright, so maybe I'd bring in a Biforce just as an out to these hollow one draws. Biforce is better than Hurkyl's for sure. And if that's the case, maybe Narset is the worst card left here. Yeah, let's do it. Well, I'm going to keep. They powdered away one hand, they powdered away another hand, and they kept a 7. So I'm going to Time Walk. Do I Time Walk? Or do I Sensei's Top? Maybe I Brainstorm and then top. This is tough. Man, Vintage is hard. I got to get these muscles back to work. So, Unmask and 3 therapies are gone. I really don't want to lose this Mentor. So I'm going to try really hard not to. Let's take a bonus turn. I would like to get Mentor in play. Let's just draw land or Mox. Ugh. Alright, Brainstorm, save me. Kinda. So I can hide Mentor on top. I can draw the Snapcaster after the Mentor to snap Time Walk. That sounds pretty good. Okay. I'll force basically any spell they cast. There's one hollow one in exile. I wish it was 4, but that's not the case. I guess I wouldn't force a hollow one. What would I force? Not that either. Yeah, they get to see that I have Rav Trap, so they can decide if they want to keep dredging fearlessly into this or not. Alright, another Unmask is in the graveyard now. So is a hollow one, so that's 2 down. And they've been through about half their deck, so they're on average there. Unmask. So if I force this, then I get to cast Mentor with Rav Trap still hanging out. I think forcing it makes more sense than Rav Trapping in response and losing my force. If I find a Mox here, I can get an extra Mentor trigger right away. Ooh, that's so much better. Okay, plans have changed. Please don't have your mental misstep. All right, we're in there. All right, so they have Force of Vigor. Like, that is a card that's in their deck. So Force taking out Needle and Pearl here would be pretty rough. Yeah, and there it is. Okay. Is what it is. Both teams tried hard. We still have Rav Trap, though. I'm going to let Narcomoeba happen. Ooh, Prized Amalgam, though. Alright, so hopefully they put some more cards in their graveyard before this end step. Oh, wow. Another Bazaar. So I'm going to spin my top, see what happens before I make a decision about this Amalgam. I think I have to let it come into play, though. Probe, Mentor. So I can probe, snap, probe, and get several cards deeper into my deck. Alright, yeah. I think I have to let that happen. What's left over here? Is it just Force Blue card? Oh, it's mental misstep. Okay. That's a huge pain in my ass, because now I don't get to snap it this turn. I could flip top, then snap, but that doesn't do much. Alright. I guess I might as well spin the top now, because I'm not casting other spells, and if I find, like, Ancestral Recall, then I can cast it. Oh, a backup trap. Alright, that's good to know. Basking Rootwalla. Oh no. They got all sorts of technology. Bridge, Force, Grave Troll. Alright. Nothing I have to respond to right away. No Icarids in there. Should pop this graveyard up. It's getting big. Still nothing I really need to react to in there. There's a Narcomoeba and a Dread Return. What do these do? So if I trap them, they could activate in response, but I don't think that does anything. All right, with the second trap coming, I think I'm into just keeping this Narcomoeba out of play. That nukes their bridges and everything, so 1, 2, 3, 4, all bridges are in exile right now. Just gotta neutralize this beatdown squad. And that Force of Vigor taking out my Mox was brutal. Like, I don't even really care about the Pithing Needle, but geez, that being down 1 mana here is just absolutely crushing. Might as well probe them, I guess. Grave Troll. I probably knew that. Alright, so top card is Mentor. If I block Prized Amalgam, I go to 7. And then on the following turn, I go to 2. They're just aggressively shredding through the deck here. Maybe if they think they're safe, they'll just go for it and die. Alright, so what actually saves more damage here? If I block Amalgam, I take 4, I go to 5. If I trade with Rootwalla, or if I block Amalgam, I go to 7, and then I take 5 next turn, I'm at 2. If they would have to find a green source and another thing. I don't think that's going to happen. So, but if I trade with Rootwalla, I take 4, I go to 5, and then I'm on a 1-turn clock. Like a surprise Rootwalla kills me. Alright, yeah, I'm just going to save maximum amount of damage here. Alright, my top card is Monastery Mentor, which I know is not helpful. But I could draw it and then see 3 fresh ones with top. I'm going to do that. Like if I top into Black Lotus, we could be in business. Or Ancestral Recall. Or a bunch of non-white sources. Oh no. This is my nightmare. Are we just dead now? I don't think I even want a Needle Bazaar. Like my best chance to win this game is if they just get foolish and deck themselves, but I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, just missing on everything there. No white source. Guess I should have fetched. Did I fetch it all? Yeah, I had one chance to fetch Tundra this game that I didn't take. Yeah, we'd have a chance if Tundra was in play. So I'm gonna reset the top here so I draw Tormod's Crypt. Because Underground Sea isn't helpful. But if we're able to top into a source of white mana, but my Pearl's dead, so it's basically Black Lotus or bust. Oh, Tundra, why must you tease me so? Where were you last turn? Yep, we're just dead. If Tundra was the 3rd card down last turn instead of the 4th, we would be at 1 and have another look. I don't know, it's still bad, but that was a rough game. Force of Vigor for the strip mine, not even as counter hate, just straight up strip mine mode. Yeah. Dredge is brutal. Alright, so we're on the draw here, but I have turn 1 Lavinia, turn 2 Narset. That's pretty good in a lot of vintage matchups. I could even turn 1 Narset, honestly, if I wanted to. I guess I'll see what they do and then make a decision. There's a lot of strength to this hand. If we were on the play, Lavinia would just end most vintage games, but on the draw, she's a little worse, but still probably going to jam her. All right, so they're on 6 cards over there. Mishra's Workshop. Null Rod. Shit. Well, okay then. Certainly slows me down. Though Lavinia is still live here. Drawing that land that can't get wasted is pretty fortunate. Oh no. If we were on the play, we would have won this game so easily. Spells your opponent's cast cost 2 more. Turn 2 Godfarer statue? God. Alright. Jesus. Not even non-creature, just all spells. Yeah, if we just turn 1 Lavinia on the play, they can't cast this, they can't cast this, and they lose. Instead, here we are. Let's see if we can dig out of this. Like, if they present a real threat, then I'll concede. Phyrexian Revoker. Alright, I'm not worried about that. I got some time. Dak Faden. Alright. That's not a card in my deck. We dodged. I will concede before revealing that we're PO if I don't think we can win. Because them thinking we're Jeskai versus them thinking we're PO is a very different animal. Sensei's Top. I guess I should be playing out my artifacts just in case I draw Tolarian Academy. Or if I draw in out to Null Rod. If I can bounce Null Rod and then start generating mana. It's probably a smart thing to do. We need land or Chain of Vapor like immediately. Or if we get up to Teferi and clear the Null Rod, that might be a line to victory. Jeez, Godfarer statue is messed up. I'm just saying. The Sensei's Top kind of reveals we're not... And the Underground Sea, alright. So I did just reveal that we're PO. But this game isn't over yet, so I'm going to keep on fighting it. Mystic Forge. Now we're probably dead. That card is restricted. You're not supposed to draw it anymore. Alright, just nothing castable on top of the deck. A Reprieve. We need a land, though, or a Chain of Vapor. Alright, we found a land. So you're saying there's a chance. Race is on. We draw another land and jam Teferi. Then maybe we can do anything. Though probably not, because they just untapped with Mystic Forge. Yeah, they didn't cast the top card of the deck last turn, and they didn't clear it with Forge. Oh, they can't clear it with Forge. Null Rod is in play. Never mind. I take it all back. Sphere. Now, Chain of Vapor is not enough. I'll trade with this thing so fast. Alright, they didn't want to attack. Probably smart. Alright, just keep running these out for that Hail Mary Chain of Vapor. Maybe I'm not supposed to trade with Revoker. If they attack, then that probably means they're trying to unlock 6-drops from their hand. Though bleeding out to Godfarer statue sounds pretty awful too. That thing's already done. It arrived on turn 2 and this is turn 7, so it's already done 4 damage. It's going to be 5 at the end of this turn. Remember when you could play 4 of this card? That was a bad time for everyone. Except Shops players. They were having a good time. Alright, maybe I am just supposed to block this thing. Like, I am definitely on the try not to die plan right now. They could Buried Ruin it and then cast it again, naming Black Lotus. That's probably their plan. Land is still my best draw, which is always the case against Shops. You always just want to draw lands. Let's see, do they get saucy and name a Planeswalker they haven't seen yet? Or do they just name the Black Lotus in case I draw a way to clear Null Rod? Oh, they just named Dak Faden again. Okay. That probably makes sense. If I take Godfarer statue, they're going to lose. Ponder. The old 4-mana Ponder. It's a spell. Alright, land number 5 is here, but... So I draw land number 5 this turn, and I Ancestral next turn, and then I'm at 3 and have to figure this out. And land plus Ancestral is a pretty good look as far as a Ponder can go in this position, so I'm going to run with it. I'm going to be at 6 when I go into my next turn. Uh-oh, mana. Smokestack. Okay. That's a ways away from doing anything. Alright. Black Lotus. They're under their own Null Rod. I guess they could sack their Null Rod to Smokestack and then try to go off with Mystic Forge. But that seems like a huge mistake considering I'm on a 3-turn clock. Oh, the third workshop in your top 15 cards. That's how Shops always works. They just always have whatever stupid restricted card or just 9 copies of an unrestricted one. Chalice on 2. Okay. Not sure what that does. Probably shuts off more of their cards than mine. Oh, it stops Hurkyl's Recall. That makes sense. Of course. But Hurkyl's is not the recall I'm going to cast this turn. Yeah, they would definitely die on the spot to a Hurkyl's Recall. Alright, Ancestral's going to have to show me the goods here. There are 0 counters on that, so we're clear for now. Flaring Academy, come on. Ugh. None of those cards are even a little bit helpful. I'll discard Mental Misstep. I can just F6 here. I can't cast any spells. So what am I drawing to? I can't cast Lavinia. It'll get countered. Can't cast Hercules. It'll get countered. Crucible of Worlds is kind of terrifying. Golos. My god. Alright. Can't be activated, Golos. Yeah, I'm just trying to see some cards at this point out of them. Like, we're dead. Even if we draw the chain and bounce Null Rod, we're still under a triple sphere. It's no good. Alright, yeah, and we're dead. Alright, that was a classic case of lose the die roll, lose the match. Alright, so Bifrost definitely coming in. Basic lands coming in. We didn't see anything really worth needling. Like, they showed us Golos and Mystic Forge, but if those cards are in play, we're dead. Lightning Bolt. We saw Revoker, but they didn't show us like Ravager or Foundry Inspector or anything. So let's figure out what we don't want and work from there. Definitely want the Tinker package. Definitely want Herx. Mental Misstep does not have any targets. I want every piece of mana acceleration there is. I want my tutors. I want all my answers. On the play, Lavinia could shut them down. But it's also possible I just don't even want Lavinia. Teferi's great. Can probably cut a Narset or some number of Narsets as a 3-mana spell that doesn't win the game. I'm kind of lukewarm on those. A Merchant Scroll gets Hercules, so I'm into that. Maybe that is it. Just this squeaky clean little 3-card package. We saw Crucible, but that's not enough to bring in Tormod's Crypt for. So this is my plan. Really, you just need like 1 or 2 turns of breathing room, which we didn't get last game, being on the draw. Oh, this hand is so keepable. All right, I'm keeping. We get to PO for 3. We have to lose a Mox Opal to do it. It's unfortunate that one of these Opals isn't like literally any other artifact, but we're still going to do this. This is definitely a jamming matchup. We have a potent sideboard card. If our PO finds a blue or white source, we can play turn 1 Lavinia also. So any land or a blue or white Mox is fine. That'll get us there. Just gotta hope we don't get Mindbreak trapped or Force of Vigored. Both of those things seem unlikely, but this is Vintage. Anything could happen. All right, so I'm going to play Opal. I probably should have played Opal first, but I'm not going to make Opal my 3rd spell. Oh, so I just tried to play around Force of Vigor and played into Mindbreak Trap. Let's just hope they have neither. Yeah, it's probably more likely they have Mindbreak Trap than Force of Vigor, but I just have to hope they have neither. All right, and we whiffed on a land or a different mana source of any kind. So I'm going to cast Ponder. Mana Crypt, another PO. Alright, can we get there? So, if I play Mana Crypt and cast Sensei's Top, God, we are so dead to exactly Null Rod, but we beat most other things. Alright, I'm going for it. Alright, don't have Null Rod, please. Just cast a sphere, any sphere. Alright, there's Soul Ring. Smokestack. Smokestack go. Mystic Forge. Alright, that's kind of terrifying, but it's not Null Rod. Alright, they didn't like that one. Exiled their Golos, their precious king. Oh, Jesus. That's fine. Alright, looks like we're getting a turn. So at the very least, we can draw 6 cards this turn and then also destroy all their permanents, or all their non-land permanents. Alright, so let's take a look. Strip Mine, Inventor's Fair, Smokestack. Okay. Alright, we drew Snapcaster. That should end the game. Now we're going to draw a million billion here. Guess we need another blue source to snap that back. So I'm going to have to fetch. And they have Strip Mine, unfortunately, so they get to strip whatever, but they're not getting a turn, so it doesn't matter. Here comes another pile of cards into my hand. Where's my Mentor? Mentor is not forthcoming yet. That's fine, we'll get there. We found another natural PO. there's the mentor. That should do it. And I have the time walk already. I'm not going to show them by force if I can avoid it, and I should be able to avoid it. I'm just going to time walk here and hope they concede. As I have Snapcaster, I can snap time walk. Even though they're already dead to this one, and they scooped it up. Cool. We were on the play, thus we win. Imagine that. Their hand wasn't particularly disruptive, though. They must not have known what we were on, or else they would not have... I don't think they would have run that hand. Alright, so Lavinia is a lot worse on the draw. It is still a creature, though. And it is blue. Still haven't seen any reason to lightning bolt them. Needle. I could name Mystic Forge. That seems so bad. Maybe Lavinia is just the take. Or bring in one bolt if I need to clear a revoker. This list is pretty skinny on Shop's Hate. Luis must be pretty confident in the matchup without all that stuff, which is probably reasonable. The matchup is good. Alright, they kept 7. We have Force of Will. Unfortunately, these Moxes do not make blue. If one of them was a blue Mox, I would snap this off. But as it stands, we have to ship it. I'm going to keep this and bottom dig through time. If we find any artifact, this is a turn 1 Tinker. Mana Crypt. Oh no. Are they going to turn 1 the God Pharaoh thing again? Oh, that's so much worse. Okay, jeez. Alright. They had a turn 1 restricted card. We didn't have an answer. We got to draw some lands now. This is why I don't like Mishra's Workshop. The fact that the deck exists or playing against it. Like, it's just so die roll dependent. Like, they never cast a spell game 1 if we go first, and we never cast a spell instead because they went first. And now we're in game 3, and they had a turn 1 Trinisphere. So, wow, Karn the Great Creator's in their deck. Do they know that card's restricted? They've cast 4 restricted cards this game. I'm impressed they're still able to dedicate any amount of sideboard space to a wish board for a 1-of. I'm also willing to believe that I should have mulliganed more to a Force of Will. Land. Jeez. Alright, so we missed land drops. They're already presenting a threat. We gotta hope that this Mana Crypt kills them, basically. But Karn can pick off the Mana Crypt at will, so that's not even a thing. Oh, wow, Golos. We'll probably just get Strip Mine here. Then if Karn wishes for a Crucible, we just can never win. Academy, okay. Alright, they know that Trinisphere is not allowed to attack. Alright, we found a land. It's not nothing. It's just very close. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 mana. They could Ballista for 5 right now. That's a very fast clock. Oh, I miscounted. It's 6. Even better. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 15. Yeah, we're just dead. Unexciting. I should have mulliganed that hand, though. Like, when you know you're against shops... Like, I guess complaining about play draw or doesn't really apply if I'm a blue deck and I choose not to mulligan to 4. Or mulligan to force. Alright, we're on the draw with an Ancestral Recall. This hand's not particularly explosive, and it has no defensive mechanisms at all in place. So let's hope this is something fair that's not going to lock us out of the game before we cast a spell. Again. Oh, no black mana? Are we getting Thought Seized? Oh, Deathrite Shaman. Sure. Alright, so this is a deck that used to play 4 Mental Misstep. Now they only have 1. Let's see if they've got it. Please don't, by the way. Alright, Force of Will. That's a deal. I would still have preferred my spell to resolve, but now we're back to the olden days, pre-Mental Misstep. For those of you who don't remember, when you jammed a turn 1 Ancestral Recall back in the day, you knew it was going to either be a 3-for-1 or a 2-for-1. Now there is just a world where it's a 1-for-1, but instead of being guaranteed, now it's just sometimes. Yeah, the turn 2 Narset was the pretty obvious layup to go with this Deathrite Shaman and the aggressive force on turn 1. Like, this is going to recoup that lost card advantage. Alright, so they have a force. Let's test if they have another blue card. So I'm going to Time Walk here. As I would prefer that my Tinker resolves. Between Narset and Tinker, like if they're going to fight over one of these cards, I would definitely rather have Tinker. Mox Emerald. Alright, so now I can play both of these cards this turn, which should handle my business. Ooh, maybe they just don't have a blue card. Or maybe they know it could get worse. Alright. So I could put Force of Will in my hand, but then I don't have a blue card to go with my Force. Or I could just put Ponder in my hand. I'm going to get Force out of my deck at least. And I'm not going to make a land drop yet. Please resolve. Alright. Oh, now I'm super smart for sacking the Opal. Now I'm less smart. Alright, so I can snap a Time Walk. Ancestral Recall doesn't help me. I'll just target that Time Walk for later. Alright, they scooped it up. Tinker for Citadel, too good. Nice Narset, you're dead. Alright, so this is a matchup where we want Pyroblasts and Lightning Bolts. I'm not sure what the right number of Lightning Bolt is, because they're going to have actual creatures. Oh, they're going to have like oofs and stuff. So I'm going to max out on Lightning Bolt and Pyroblast. Yeah, with the advent of oof, Null Rod has become less popular. So I'm going to cut Merchant Scroll. I'm going to cut one of the Opals because if we do get oofed, I don't want to have too many redundant non-tapping for mana Lotus Petals. Lavinia is not good in this matchup. Wheel of Fortune's probably pretty bad against their Lavinias. Or their Narsets. I like my Narsets. I like Teferi. Gotta cut one more. I still like Tinker. They're not going to have Red Blast, so it's going to be a 2-for-1 both ways if they go for that. I do like having Chain. Top is really good if they don't have Oof, and really bad if they do. So I'm going to cut a top. Alright, now we get to do the old modern Splinter Twin plan of Bolt, Snap, Bolt as a reasonable win con with 3 bolts, 2 snaps in the deck. We actually do have a pretty reasonable fair plan if we get shut down otherwise. Alright, well, we have another Ancestral Recall hand, and this time I can protect it with Force of Will. This Academy is pretty embarrassing at the moment, but that's okay. It'll get there. Deafening Silence. I think I'm okay with that. That might be insane. Just absolutely bananas to say, but like I can wait for them to cast a spell on their turn, then cast Ancestral that I know is going to resolve. Deafening Silence off a Mox, huh? That's something. Alright, if they cast Narset, I will force it. Maybe I won't. Let's see, what do you got? Teferi. So that does mess up my business quite a bit. Because each player can't cast more than one on-creature spell each turn. If they have Teferi, then they get to double their spells, and I don't. Alright, yeah. I'm gonna force that. And I know they can't force back because they are deafeningly silenced. So I could just Ancestral right now. But then I shouldn't have played Academy. I'm going to Ancestral right now. Alright, yeah, definitely should not have played Academy. If I could have played a different land, a Scalding Tarn this turn, we would be a lot better set up for next turn. Or at least be able to Brainstorm on their turn, get some extra spell value. Counterbalance. Jeez, look at this deck. Yeah, we didn't see all this white mana in game 1, but actual Tundra's in the deck, so they didn't just get super lucky off this Mox. They do have a plan. Some kind of plan. Alright, so they don't know the top card of their deck. I'm going to Brainstorm here. Maybe I should have detutored because I can Brainstorm on their turn. Yeah, just learning how to work through Deafening Silence. There's a lot of science happening right now. Alright, so Bolus' Citadel can get in the deck. And this is a lot of lands. Am I ever going to be able to play Mana Crypt? Am I going to have time for that? Probably not. Alright, so worth noting is that Snapcaster is a creature, so I can still snap spells. So Snap Ancestral is still a line on their future turns. Just finding these instant speed plays is a big game. Get rid of those brick spells I don't want. Yeah, this academy is super embarrassing. I wish it was not in play. I'm going to start making them dance with Snapcaster Mage in their end step. I'm not just going to jam this Narset into like Spell Pierce or something too easy. I think I'm going to check this counterbalance before I start just casting spells into it. I don't want to give them too many free counters. Alright, Treasure Cruise on top. Yeah, if they want to use an actual counterspell to fight over this, then I'll just Snap Blast on their turn. Oh, Hardcast Mindbreak Trap. Deal. So they have 2 cards left. We know Treasure Cruise is on top. I think it's a good time for Narset. Because this either gets the Force of Will or the Red Blast out of their hand, or it forces a shuffle, so they try to find a 3-drop. And if they're going to Red Blast, then they lose their Treasure Cruise anyway. And if they don't counter this, they lose their Treasure Cruise because Narset means it doesn't do anything. Alright, that's not a Red Blast. That's good. Force of Will entered the revealed card zone. Alright, good to know. Oh, they had Force also. Force pitching, Force revealing, Force. So they're just on mono Force of Will over there. Okay. We got them Hellbent. They can hardcast Force, so gotta watch out for that one. So do I end step Vampiric Tutor? Probably. I want to push the limits of this silence. Boo. Alright. Well, we know what we're up against at least. So I could detutor now. They might hardcast their Force. If they do that, what happens? I get to dig through time on their turn? Or I get to dig through time now? No, I can't do it now. I can dig through time in their upkeep. I could also just play around this Force some more. Because if they cast top, it means they can't Force. Now I'm going to make them Force. Because this top plus counterbalance is going to get rough. Yep. So I could dig in their upkeep to make sure it resolves. That is probably what I want to do. Citadel, not that great. Pyroblast is an interesting one. So Pyroblast can challenge the counterbalance at least. Merchant Scroll has a long path to bouncing Deafening Silence. I can't cast Citadel, so I'm not taking that. I don't have any artifacts for Tinker. So I think Pyroblast and Merchant Scroll are just the best options, even though they're all pretty bad. This deafening silence has been pretty good. I think the only way around this is through it. Nightmare. Alright, so they drew Time Walk, which means it's not on top of their deck anymore. Which means Snapcaster Mage. I gotta win this game somehow. Gotta hope they don't have another 2. Alright. Halfway there. So they can just flip their top to make sure this Ancestral doesn't resolve, but then they have to spend a turn without top in play. And then I'm beating down, so this pillow fort they're hiding behind is not going to protect them forever. All right, an Ancestral of their own. I should have snap detutored here. When I know their top card isn't a 2. Yeah, snap detutor would have been smart there. Teferi, Time Raveler. All right. So their top card is probably that 1. I'm not even going to cast this Brainstorm, because if they want to bounce one of these snaps, then the other one's going to kill Teferi. And their top card's Ancestral Recall, so I'm just not going to give them that free exile. I'm just going to mash Teferi. So they can Time Walk in my end step and take an extra turn. It's kind of funny. All right, there's a spell. Academy is on. Watch out. So they can spin their way into a land. Greedy. Please. I guess it's not greedy because they have Teferi. I was going to say when they top in my end step to reset, I'm going to kill Teferi, or I'm going to kill Counterbalance, but they have Teferi, so I can't cast Instants. That was totally fine. This deck is pretty interesting that my opponent is playing over there. I'm not sure if it's good, but it's certainly interesting. Like, we're going to be on the play for game 3, and now we know what they're up to. They're kind of stuck under their own silence here, too. Like, I'm sure Teferi does not want to be... Or, when you have Teferi, you have top, you're time walking, and it's just like time walk for the right to cast another spell. I don't know about all that. Let's see if they want to trade this Bob. Yeah, I can't even fire off these ones. I just want to... I'm trying to see more of their deck. Like, we're in a lot of trouble here, but could still win, maybe? I'll definitely force a Will Deafening Silence next game. Now that I know. Whack. Oh no. Mental Misstep. Alright, to go with their Sensei's Top plus Counterbalance, they now have Mental Misstep. Alright, I mean that's a magic card. Let's see if they even care about Teferi. Alright, they do. It's about to get weird. It didn't get weird. Alright, we're dead. Alright, we got locked out by Counterbalance Top in Vintage. Yeah, we just kept a pretty fair hand and it did not get rewarded. Alright, so what am I doing differently? I could bring a Needle for top, but I also have tops in my deck. I'm not sure that's the way forward. Yeah, they didn't really do anything that Lavinia would affect. Yeah, I think I just need to get ahead of their hate. And nothing's going to change in this board plan. Alright, on the play, we have our third Ancestral Recall of the match. If then this Ancestral resolves, then we have really good chance of a turn 2 Narset. If we find a blue source, we can Narset or snap Ancestral. It all sounds good to me. No! I was promised that wouldn't happen anymore. I'm going to get those out in case they have the Deafening Silence again. Don't ancestral me, bro. Jeez. Welcome to Vintage. Wow. FML. Alright. Well, we both have 1 mana source and 4 cards in hand, so for all that muster and bluster, not a whole lot happened. How about cast Dark Confidant? Something I can just easily answer 1 for 1. Lavinia. Aha, I got that one covered. Pew pew! Glad that resolved, because I couldn't force back if they had an answer. Land? Land. Alright, we're creeping back in here. We draw another land, we can snap Ancestral and then, or Narset, and just get to business. Yeah, the old cast your own Null Rod off 2 Moxen line is, it's a rough one. Alright, land please. Yeah. Not a land, but it's a pretty good card to have. I'm ready for a Narset now, and I don't have to 2 for 1 myself to do it. I'm not going to fight over preordains. I will fight over counterbalance. I won't fight over Time Walk. That's fine. What is this shit? Is this a Deathrite Shaman? Oh, Mystic Sanctuary. My goodness, we're going off. Are they rebuying Time Walk? They're going to rebuy Ancestral, probably. It's got to be better than Time Walk here. Alright, their deck's pretty cool. I won't deny it. Oh, they brought back Time Walk? Interesting. That's not the choice I would have made, but of course I can't see their hand. Nope. Alright, deck. It's time for a land. Kinda. Not really. Not even close. There's that Time Walk again. I think I have to force a Will of Dark Confidant here. Tasigur. I definitely have to force that. I'm going to pitch Narset because I think Snapcaster is going to do more work, and they both take 3 lands to do. Or at least to do effectively. If I draw a Probe, I would just like Snap Probe. Or Probe Snap Probe. Fuck. I wonder if that was off the top or if they've just been sculpting this perfect plan for several turns now. I think it's time for Snapcaster to become an Ambush Viper. They left up this white mana though, that's kind of disheartening. Do they have swords to plowshares? Oh my god. Oh my god. Alright. Well, we're probably super dead now. I'll dig through time. Sure. Yeah, we were just never able to get anything going in either of these games. They had Null Rod here. They had a turn 1 potent hate card both games. Yeah, I thought I could play a fair plan last game with my Snapcasters versus their Deafening Silence, but... And maybe I could have, but not with Counterbalance top to go with it. I'll take one more draw step and see what happens. Alright, they top that Preordain after all that. Oh, there's our third land. Perfect. I guess I'll make them show me a win con. Though I have one Snapcaster left. There's 2 Pyroblast, 2 Bolts still in the deck. We can break out of Narset pretty well. Though they did just resolve many cantrips to my 0. See, do they have another Mystic Sanctuary in this deck? No, okay. I will concede to Jace. Oh no. What is this card? Oh wow. So they just get to Time Walk for 3 turns in a row? Okay. I can't beat that. Jeez. Alright, so we're on the draw. But we have a turn 1 Wheel of Fortune. We have Academy. I'm going to keep this. Alright, we're not... Oh, I was just going to say we're not dying to Null Rod, but... Or you could just die to Jace instead. Oh, jeez. Turn 1 Mentor. Alright, well, we're getting Vintage again. Let's see if we can Vintage them harder. This is mostly going to come down to if they have some counterspell to back this up, or if they cast like Time Walk right now, or Narset. If they PO right now, we're probably dead. Looks like a proper vintaging is occurring. Oh, they're fetching. Good. This can only be like Narset or PO. Okay. So Narset and PO are off the table for the turn at least. The bad news is I'm probably not going to cast Wheel of Fortune anymore. That's not a good plan when my opponent has Mentor with 4 monks already, giving them a fresh grip of spells. Again, utterly punished by losing the die roll. Because their hand didn't have any interaction, it just had this banana start. Like, if we could have forced this Mentor, then their hand doesn't do anything. Oh, they're just milling too? Okay. Jeez. that was some stuff. All right. What do we do about this? So can I win on turn 1? So if I Black Lotus, sack for black, detutor for tinker, I can tinker. So let's tinker. I have to win though, because Dak taking my Citadel is pretty much intolerable. Alright, let's see who can out-vintage the other. So I can play Academy now and float a bunch of blue. Oh shit, I just misclicked that. I should have another black floating. Whoops. Alright, so I'm going to get Tinker. Citadel. Ugh, I did not want to land on top, but I have Ponder to break it up. Mentor Ruby. Oh, that's not good enough. How'd this land? Maybe I shouldn't have made my land drop. The Academy making a zillion mana looked... Oh, I have Ruby. JK, I can Wheel of Fortune. We're good. We're good. We got this. Oh, shit. Cancel, cancel. Can you cancel? Oh, I should have pondered to draw the land. Can you Control Z this? I just misstacked that, and obviously Moto has no way to back that up once you start. So now instead of winning, I'm just going to have to... So I'm still not going to shuffle. I'm going to draw the Mentor. I'm going to play Ruby. Then I guess I just have to wheel. Oh, that feels bad. I wish Mentor was in play. Now they have a fresh 7. And somehow we bricked. Just like, despite doing all of that, there's still Scalding Tarn on top. This land can't do anything, and we're dead. Ah! Misclicks are the worst. Yeah, that's why we test, though. I have obviously never cast Ponder with Bolas' Citadel in play before, or else we would have easily won that game. Instead, we just bricked and did nothing. Alright, so Pyroblasts are coming in. Lightning Bolts are coming in. Alright, so Herx. Top. I think I want to cut Tinker but leave in Citadel. Try to find some way to cast it. After that last match where I just suddenly realized I have no win conditions left, that was not a good place to be. Alright, this hand is not capable. It doesn't do anything or cast any spells. This has turn 1 Narsa with force backup. I'm going to go for it. Maybe this doesn't do anything. Maybe it's great. It's nice in Vintage that Narset can find mana sources, which is not true of basically any other format. Alright, Misstep's a decent one. That'll stop the Pyroblast or Bolt that they surely have. We do need to find some land, though. Great. Do they also have turn 1 Narset? Wow. Have I mentioned lately how much I love Vintage, by the way? Alright, we found the land. Let's find a Pyroblast to go with it. Just completely bricked. My deck, that's all spells. No worries. Alright, so Vampiric Tutor. But for what? I'm going to fetch and take that opportunity to look at my deck and see if there's even anything I can tutor for that matters. Sure, whatever. Alright, so I don't think I can tutor for anything. I think I just have to get a red land and hope to draw one of my answers. Alright, I'm probably going to die to Mana Crypt, but try to get something going here. Alright, so I'm going to bolt Narset on their turn so they can't Force of Negation. I'm not going to bolt yet. If they play something that can actually kill me this turn, like if this is like Young Pyromancer or Dreadhorde Arcanist, I think I'm just going to have to bolt that instead. Alright, begin the bleed from Mana Crypt. Alright, we won. Perfect. Yeah, Narset is a huge, stupid card in this format. My god. Alright, so now they can hard cast Force of Negation, and they don't actually have to cast any more spells this game. I can just die to Mana Crypt. Alright, that's pretty close to a spell, but not really. The PO can pick up Mana Crypt at the very least. Alright, I'm actually doing pretty good on Mana Crypt. I'm going to stop complaining. For now. I will complain more, I promise. You gonna Force of Negation my mocks? They are. They're doing it. Oh, they're just wearing this instead. Oh. Sure, I'm not dying to my Mana Crypt anymore. You got me. I can't PO right now because I can't draw extra cards. I would have PO'd on their turn to draw one extra card, but not an option. I'm not convinced that play made any sense. Like, Mana Crypt's a perfectly reasonable win condition in a spot like this when I'm clearly have nothing. Oh no, Gush. More restricted cards. Yeah, I'm so far not excited about the idea of playing PO at Champs. I'm not going to lie to you. This league has not gone well. I'll probably have to test this Arcanist deck, even though I don't find it fun or interesting at all. Alright, now we're both not doing anything for a while. But games where nobody's doing anything favor the Xerox player. Like, they're making land drops and I'm not. That's a big difference. Why are they tapping red in their end step? It's a weird thing to do. Alright, that doesn't matter yet. Because I don't have any draw spells anyway. Got him. Oh no. Picking up Gush. God, Mystic Sanctuary. My second opponent in a row to Mystic Sanctuary me right out. Oh, and the Sanctuary... Gush picks up the Sanctuary, so you get to Gush every other turn for the rest of time. Wow. That's pretty messed up. I'm now very interested in doing that kind of thing at Champs. Unlimited card draw Gush loop. That's so cool. I'm glad we stuck out this match to see that interaction at the very least, even though we're definitely not winning. Dreadhorde Arcanist. Oh, that's the wrong mode. I want to kill Narset. No, I want to save that for the end step. I'll force this thing. Which of your 1,000 counterspells in hand do you want to use? Oh, none of them. Okay. They're clearly just not even worried about this game right now. I'm sure they had many ways to counter that. I know about at least one of them. Sanctuary that Gush back again. I'm so jealous of what they're doing right now. That's awesome. And even if I counter the Gush, picking up the island is the cost. So they still get Mystic Sanctuary and they can just refire the loop again. Oh no. Nope. Yeah, we're definitely just all the way dead here. My Black Lotus is already in the graveyard. Alright. I'm willing to pack it up. So this league was an abject failure. We beat Jeskai land still. And then we lost kind of a crappy one to Dredge. Like, I feel like we got a little unlucky, but like also their Force of Vigor was perfect. Like took me off the color that I was missing. So that worked out really well for them. But it was close, definitely a winnable one. Then the Dreadhorde deck did not feel remotely winnable at all. And we lost to Null Rod a number of times. We lost to Shops because we were on the draw. Yeah, so that was an unsatisfying run, but learned a lot about how to cast Ponder with Bolas of Citadel in play at the very least. So this is super rusty. Learn from my mistakes. That's my message from this video. As always, if you want to talk about this video, if you want to tell me all the spots where I messed up, I promise I will go back and rewatch the spots to try to figure out the lines. I'm sure I did not play this perfectly, not even close. And I might keep working on this deck. I'm going to try the Arcanist deck. I'm going to try some other stuff. Champs is a couple weeks away. I got plenty of time to figure this out. So hit that sub button. Talk to me on Twitter at Bosch and Roll. I'll see you next time.